Hey everyone,
I'm Joe.
I'm Rachel.
And you're watching
Mickey and Minnie's Keys to the Kingdom.
Did you know Walt Disney World has over 200 restaurants on their property?
That's crazy. But that's where this video comes into play. Dining Reservations 101. This is our tips and tricks and our must-eats at Walt Disney World.
So I'm either going to Disney or I'm already there. What's my first step?
So your first step with dining reservations is to sit down with the people you're going with and see what type of food you guys want to eat. Now, the 200 restaurants is a lot of restaurants, and that covers everything from your quick service meals all the way up to your 5-star high-end restaurants. They're all themed differently, they all have different menus, and they're all phenomenal. So sit down with them, pull up on Disney's website, they have a list of all of the restaurants. Pull up that list and see where everyone wants to go, what type of food they want to eat, or try something new. Once you've sat down and had that discussion, you can start making your dining reservations up to 180 days in advance, which is crazy. But some of the restaurants, you really do need to make that reservation the first day you can, because these restaurants offer a really cool and a unique experience, so therefore those reservations at peak times are hard to come by.
So you touched on it before. There's different kinds of restaurants. What kind are there?
Just like at home at all your restaurants, there's a ton of different restaurants with a ton of different price points. Your cheapest is going to be your quick service options. So those include places like the Electric Umbrella in Epcot and Cosmic Rays in Magic Kingdom. Okay, so cool. These are your simple sit-down restaurants where you order at a counter and then you wait for your food and you bring it back to your table. These meals generally range from $10 to $20 a person. Mm-hmm. But they're really great and simple meal options.
Is it kind of like fast food?
Yeah, it's more fast food-like, even though Disney has diversified themselves and you can get pulled pork sandwiches and chicken parm, and some of the foods are really good. So you're not forced to eat French fries and chicken tenders your whole stay.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So one nice thing that quick service have that all of the others don't is you have the ability to order right from your Walt Disney World app. So as you're walking over to your favorite quick service place, you can place an order. So by the time you get there, it's already made for you and all you have to do is sit down and enjoy it.
That's really cool. How do you know what restaurants have it?
Now, that's a good point. Not every restaurant currently, or not every quick service place currently has this option. But right on your map, if you go onto your Walt Disney World app and you click on dining, it'll show you where dining options are within the parks. And once you click on it, you'll see a little circle that says mobile ordering on it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Once you walk into your quick service restaurant that you choose, there will be a station clearly marked that says mobile ordering, and you walk up there, you tell them your name, you pick up your food, and you walk away. You get to avoid those long lines, especially during peak hours where everyone's getting food. You just get to skip the line. It's kind of like fast passes, but for food.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I know I said there was over 200 restaurants, but are they all quick service?
No, a majority of them are actually full-service sit-down meals. And that is amazing, and that's where the dining reservations comes in handy. Because just like your restaurants at home, you can show up and wait for over an hour just to get a table. But if you make a dining reservation, you get to pick a time slot that you want to go in at, and you basically walk in, and you get to jump the line and get to go sit at a table. So again, it's fast pass-like.
Does Disney do any dining packages for shows?
Yeah, they do. So for select restaurants within select parks, they do options where you can book a dining reservation, and that includes a fast pass to one of the shows, such as Fantasmic in Hollywood Studios and the River Light Show in Animal Kingdom.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so when you book your reservation, you put a deposit down, so this way, if you don't show up, they still charge you, unfortunately. But with that reservation comes a fast pass. So you just have to make sure you do these dinner and show options if that's what you want.
So do they do any character restaurants?
Yeah, they have a ton actually. So one of my favorites from when I was a kid was Crystal Palace in Magic Kingdom. They do a breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the characters from Winnie the Pooh. So you make a reservation just like any other restaurant, and when you show up, there's Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Piglet, Eeyore walking around. It's a great way to get signatures and pictures while also eating. And it gives you the opportunity to see some characters that you wouldn't get to see outside of these dining opportunities.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so you basically kill two birds with one stone. Yeah. So another one of my favorites is Chef Mickey in the Contemporary. This one is super popular And this is one of those restaurants where you want to take advantage of that 180-day reservation option. So this way you can get it during peak times, like dinner time, for instance. Or the Contemporary has an amazing view of Happily Ever After. So if you're one of the lucky people to be in Chef Mickey's during Happily Ever After, you have a fantastic view of the show.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I know Disney's known for theming their parks. Are they doing that with their restaurants now?
Yeah, so one of the most well-known Disney restaurants on premise is called Be Our Guest. It is a Beauty and the Beast themed restaurant. So from the moment you walk into the gateways of the Beast Castle to the moment you walk out, you are fully immersed in the storyline of Beauty and the Beast. So they offer lunch and dinner options. The lunch is very different from the dinner. The dinner is a full-service sit-down meal, whereas the lunch is more of a quick-service opportunity. But this is one of the places where you need to take advantage of that 180-day reservation availability because otherwise you're not going to get a reservation. We tried for so long. We tried for 6 or 7 trips to get a reservation at this place, and we got one, and we were lucky to get that. This place is highly booked, and if you go, make sure to try the gray stuff because it's delicious.
So now that you guys know a little bit more about dining reservations, we're going to give you a couple of our favorite restaurants and quick services.
So we're going to start with our quick services. These are our top 2 favorite places to get quick service throughout the 4 parks. And these are places we look forward to eating at when we go to the parks.
All right, so my first is Cosmic Rays in Magic Kingdom. Basically, you get hot dogs and hamburgers. You get some mac and cheese.
Yeah, your basic quick service foods, but it is phenomenal and we love it. My favorite is also in Magic Kingdom, but it's in Frontierland, so on the opposite side of the park. It's called Golden Oaks Outpost. It's a tiny little shack that you could walk right past and never even know it existed. But this is one of 2 places to buy waffle fries on Disney premise, and they are phenomenal. The other place is Pop Century Resort, so if you're staying at Pop Century, make sure to get those fries. But Golden Oaks Post is known for their chicken breast nuggets and their waffle fries. So highly suggest, especially if you're just in the mood for something a little different than your normal fries that you would get at every other quick service place in Disney.
So my second favorite is a tie between Restaurantosaurus in Dinoland USA in Animal Kingdom and Satuli Cantina in Pandora. Both of them have a very unique theme, so you get different kinds of food there.
Yeah, so Santorini Canteen, they have some interesting spins, twists on some of your traditional foods. So a hot dog is not just a hot dog, it's encased in the bun. And their chicken tenders are not tenders, they're grilled chicken with some spices, and you get rice and stuff like that. So it's definitely a different place to try. But if you're looking for something different for quick service, there's a perfect place.
Yeah.
My second favorite is the ABC Commissary. It's located in Hollywood Studios, and they have some different quick service options. So they have pulled pork, they have shrimp platters, they have veggie burgers, and they actually transition from quick service into a sit-down dinner for dinner. So if you go during lunch, it's your normal quick service, but dinner, you get a little bit more fancy, and you get a little bit more fancier of a menu. So I really enjoyed that switch over too. So that was our top 4 quick service places. Now we're going to move on to our top 5 dinner locations throughout Walt Disney World. So we originally did 2 lists, but our lists were so similar that we just combined it into one. And you may see a theme in this list.
Yeah. All right. So number 5 is 50's Primetime Cafe.
It's located in Hollywood Studios, and it is an experience, let me tell you.
Yeah.
This restaurant is completely themed as if you were to walk into someone's house in the 50s. So mama comes out and calls you for your reservation, and you go in and you help set the table if you're a kid. And if you misbehave, like putting your elbows on the table, you may have to stand up against the wall with a sugar packet on your forehead. So it's unlike any experience you will find anywhere else, and the wait staff gets so into it. It is phenomenal.
I also recommend when they call your name, don't answer. We had...
Right away, yeah.
Yeah, don't answer right away. We had our waitresses or waiter come up and literally go off on us. Straight up, they were like, what the hell? Why didn't you answer the first time
Yeah, you don't be late to Mom's house. Yeah, it's really cool. And if you're just looking for something different and unique, 50's Primetime Cafe is the place to go.
Oh, yeah.
And the foods are not too bad either. So.
All right. So our number 4 spot is the Plaza in Magic Kingdom on Main Street. It's a hidden gem.
Yeah, so it's a hole in the wall. You would walk right past it and never even know it existed. But this little tiny restaurant has some mighty power to it. This is actually the first location that alcohol was served in the Magic Kingdom. So Walt Disney was super strict about not wanting the Magic Kingdom to have alcohol in it. And eventually that they came around and started implementing alcohol into the park. And the Plaza was the first place they do it. So the Plaza constantly has a rotating menu of different alcohols and different foods. And it rotates with the seasons. So it's definitely a really good place if you're just looking for something nice and refreshing while you're at Magic Kingdom.
Another cool thing about the Plaza is if you get a reservation around the time when Happily Ever After happens, you might be able to get a seat in this glass box where you can actually see the show going on.
Yeah, it's a really cool view. So definitely worth a shot if you can try.
Yeah. All right. So our number 3 spot is one of Rachel's favorites.
So I apologize, I don't speak Italian. Via Napoli Ristorante e Pizzeria in Epcot. It's located in Italy. And this Italian food, it is phenomenal. Their pizzas are handmade, cooked in a brick oven stove, and it's just so good. And you can't find pizza like that anywhere else on property. And it's relatively cheap. So that's pretty nice. And one nice cool thing about any of the countries in World Showcase is that all of the staff is actually from that country. So when you walk into this restaurant, everyone there speaks Italian and they have Italian accents, and it's super cool and unique to dive into that culture and see this restaurant that they absolutely love.
All right, so our number 2 spot is another one in Epcot. It's La Celliere Steakhouse, and it's in Canada.
Yeah. So this steakhouse, we've eaten at a number of steakhouses throughout our times there.
Yeah.
And we've eaten at high-end steakhouses like Schuler's and even low-end steakhouses that just serve normal steaks.
Yeah.
But this has to be our absolute favorite. We love this steakhouse.
Yes, there's no dress code. You feel welcome.
Yeah, and it's a super sit-down dinner place. They have an excellent wine selection.
Yes.
And we love the vibe and love the food.
All right, and then another thing is when you're there, if you go for dessert, you want to get the chocolate mousse. Trust me, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah. It may not be on the menu because it wasn't on the menu when we were last there, but they do have it in the back. So if you like chocolate and you like mousse, ask for the chocolate mousse.
Yes. So my number 1 spot is by far my favorite. It's Mama Melrose. It's in Hollywood Studios, and it's by the Muppets. It's a hidden gem, again.
Yeah, a lot of our restaurants seem to be that way.
Yeah.
But this is another Italian food place, and we absolutely love it. We highly recommend going around lunchtime because the portions are about the same, and it's less during lunch. So it's worth going to, and it's just so good. Yeah. We love the food there. I get the chicken parm every single time, and I want to try new things, but the chicken parm is just so good that I can't not get it.
Last time I was there, I had spaghetti, and the sauce is awesome. Yeah. I love the environment in there, too, the lighting and everything. Yeah,
so we highly recommend Mama Rosa, and we will go for every Disney trip now on.
Yeah, so I have one more on my list. I know I said top 5, but
this is more of like an honorable mention.
Yeah, this is an honorable mention. So it's Be Our Guest. The only reason it's honorable mention was because we went for lunch. We haven't been able to get a reservation for dinner time yet, so we don't want to tell you what we think of it until we have gone for dinner. Yeah, so dinner is a big different experience, like we talked about earlier in this video. So it changes over from quick service to dinner, like to sit down dinner. So it's super different. It's unique, and we will one day eat dinner at Be Our Guest. Fingers crossed.
This is one of the reservations that is hard to get, so just be aware of that. So that has been our Dining Reservations 101, as well as some of our favorites. Have you located the non-Disney pop figure in this video? If you have, leave it down in the comments below with what it is and where it's located.
There's 2.
Yeah, there's 2, so good luck. But I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And you've been watching Mickey and Minnie's Keys to the Kingdom.